So Blake Lively is suing Justin Baldoni for occurrences that allegedly happened on their movie together, which no one knows what really happened. But what's interesting is I don't know that Justin Baldoni is a very wealthy man. And what is she suing for?
The saddest thing about this Blake Lively Justin Baldoni thing is how much proof there is and how much people don't want to believe her because they don't like her. And how the worst thing Justin Baldoni's team can come up with is that she was rude and difficult and threatened not to show up at work.
Public's response to Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni is absolutely sickening and makes me just lose faith in humanity.
If you thought the drama surrounding the It Ends With Us movie has been put out, think again. Blake Lively, one of Hollywood's most adored stars, has made headlines once again, this time for filing a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. The allegations are severe: sexual harassment, fostering a toxic work environment, and orchestrating a smear campaign against her. What makes this even more shocking is the level of detail provided in the legal documents, which reveal a deeply troubling series of events behind the scenes of the highly anticipated film. So, let's break this down layer by layer, starting with the allegations and moving through the fallout, all while unpacking the emotional stakes for everyone involved. Blake Lively's lawsuit lays out a harrowing account of her experiences working on It Ends With Us. According to the legal documents, her complaints stem from multiple incidents involving Justin Baldoni, the film's director, and Jamie Heath, the CEO of Wayfarer Studios.
Public's response to Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni is absolutely sickening and makes me just lose faith in humanity. The fact that people can read the lawsuit and see the evidence, which is so clear and so blatantly showing that Justin Baldoni is a sick individual, and these people are still choosing to just bash Blake Lively, this is about the fact that this man orchestrated a PR takedown of this woman because he knew that he acted inappropriately on set. This lawsuit has text message receipts between Justin Baldoni and his PR. His PR team planted things on social media in order to sway public opinion, and Justin even said himself he wanted it to be like what they did to Hailey Bieber. And it all makes sense now because I was reporting on the feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni when the film came out, and I was just so shocked at how many people were willing to jump on the Blake Lively hate train. There is no such thing as a perfect victim, and just because somebody is not likable doesn't make them not a victim.
Allegedly, these men created an unsafe and hostile work environment rife with inappropriate behavior. Blake recounts that it wasn't just one isolated incident, but a series of deeply troubling occurrences. From the outset, Justin allegedly made inappropriate comments about his sexual life, his past struggles with pornography addiction, and even his experiences involving non-consensual acts. She described instances where Justin would casually share explicit details of his personal life, making the environment uncomfortable and unprofessional.
This is complicated because isn't the studio, like the set, etc., the workplace, and this happened in the workplace. So she's only suing him, not the studio. I think it's interesting.
In one case, Justin reportedly recounted a disturbing story about engaging in a non-consensual act, an anecdote that left Blake and others on set deeply unsettled. He is also accused of sharing explicit videos and images to cast and crew members, actions that Blake believes were intended to demean and objectify women. Justin's inappropriate behavior escalated when he allegedly pressured Blake to reveal personal details about her intimate life, often under the gaze of building rapport or method acting. This created an environment where boundaries were repeatedly crossed, leaving Blake feeling violated and unsupported. One of the most shocking allegations involves Justin entering Blake's makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed. Despite her explicit request for privacy, Justin reportedly ignored these boundaries, creating a pattern of disrespect and disregard for her personal space.
I mean it when I say every day I think hell has truly frozen over. The fact that having Mean Girl allegations is far more damaging and crucifying than someone who allegedly sexually harasses women. Because when it came out that, Blake was labeled as a mean girl, you would have thought she did some horrendous crime. And now that she was allegedly sexually harassed on the set of It Ends With Us, crickets. Crickets, nothing, silence. I mean, listen, I can only speak to what I've seen online, but it's not even like a 20th of the hate that was launched at Blake when people thought she was a mean girl. And if you read the details of the lawsuit that she launched against Justin Baldoni in regards to the sexual harassment that she allegedly experienced, there's some pretty awful stuff in there. I mean, truly horrendous behavior.
This incident not only highlighted Justin's lack of professionalism, but also underscored the power imbalance that left Blake vulnerable and without recourse. Jamie Heath's behavior, according to Blake, was equally egregious. She alleges that Jamie once showed her a private video of his wife in a compromising position, an act Blake described as both shocking and invasive. On another occasion, Jamie reportedly lingered in her trailer while she was breastfeeding, ignoring her repeated requests for privacy. These incidents added to the toxic atmosphere on set, where women's boundaries were routinely disregarded. The lawsuit also details how both Justin and Jamie made inappropriate comments about the bodies of female cast members, including Blake. She recalls instances where their remarks were not only demeaning but also created an environment of fear and discomfort for other women on set. This behavior wasn't confined to Blake alone. Several female crew members reportedly faced similar treatment, further highlighting the systematic issues within the production. Together, these actions painted a picture of a workplace where women's voices were silenced, their boundaries ignored, and their concerns dismissed.
Blake Lively's Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars are sharing their support for her amid this ongoing lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. America Ferrera, Amber Rose Tamblyn, and Alexis Bledel shared a joint statement online. The statement reads, "As Blake's friends and sisters for over 20 years, we stand with her in solidarity as she fights back against the reported campaign waged to destroy her reputation. Through the filming of It Ends With Us, we saw her summon the courage to ask for a safe workplace for herself and colleagues on set. And we are appalled to read the evidence of a premeditated and vindictive effort that ensued to discredit her voice. Most upsetting is the unabashed exploitation of domestic violence survivor stories to silence a woman who asked for safety. The hypocrisy is astounding. We are struck by the reality that even if a woman is as strong, celebrated, and resourced as our friend Blake, she can face forceful retaliation for daring to ask for a safe working environment. We are inspired by our sister's courage to stand up for herself and others. For anyone seeking more information or engaging in this important conversation online, please read the full legal complaint in the investigative reporting by Megan Twohy, Mike McIntyre, and Julie Tate for the New York Times. In the caption, they say, "In support of our sister Blake."
Blake's decision to speak out despite the potential repercussions reflects the depth of the challenges she faced and her determination to hold those in power accountable. Blake's demands for safety after enduring these conditions for months. Blake took action. During the break caused by the Writers Guild strike, she submitted a document titled Protections for Return to Production, which outlined 30 specific demands aimed at creating a safer work environment. These demands reflected a detailed and thorough approach to addressing the toxic dynamics she had experienced on set. Among the most significant were no showing of explicit videos or images to cast or crew. Blake explicitly demanded an end to the disturbing practice of sharing explicit material, which she believed fostered a disrespectful and objectifying atmosphere. This was particularly aimed at addressing incidents involving both Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath. No discussion of personal sexual experiences or pornography. Blake had been subjected to conversations that were entirely inappropriate for a professional setting. She wanted to ensure that such discussions would never happen again, protecting herself and other cast and crew members from similar discomfort. Mandatory presence of an intimacy coordinator during scenes involving physical intimacy. Recognizing the importance of clear boundaries and professional oversight, Blake insisted on the presence of a certified intimacy coordinator.
If you read the complaint, I think she had very valid reasons why she wouldn't want to show up to work in an environment like that, and that her supervisor, I guess if you want to call him that since he was the director, thought it was totally appropriate to behave in the way he did. And that's what's breaking my heart so much about this, because if it can happen to Blake Lively, who is obviously taking a stand, people are saying it's to get the rights to the sequel. I personally think it's to take a stand against Justin Baldoni and the way he treated her. It can happen to you too and your daughter. That's the rhetoric we always hear about women. Well, she was a bitch. She was difficult. She thinks she's all that. As some sort of reason to justify that it's okay what's happening to them, some of you will do anything you can not to believe women, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Let's think logically here. There is no benefit of this to Blake Lively. She's gonna be in court for years, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this lawsuit. It will probably backfire on her. People will like her even less if they side with Justin Baldoni. If you really think about why she's he's doing this, it makes sense.
This role was critical in ensuring that any scenes requiring physical closeness were handled with consent and transparency. Prohibition of entering Blake's trailer or makeup area without her consent. Blake's trailer had been a space where her privacy was repeatedly invaded. By explicitly prohibiting uninvited entry, she aimed to reclaim her personal boundaries and establish a clear line of respect. Strict adherence to pre-approved script with no improvisation of intimate scenes. Blake's demand made it clear that she would no longer tolerate any on-the-spot changes that undermined her consent or introduced unexpected elements to intimate scene. This was a direct response to prior incidents where her boundaries were disregarded. Engagement of a Blake-approved stunt double for scenes involving sexual violence. In a bid to maintain her emotional well-being and safety, Blake required that a stunt double handled the more graphic or challenging aspects of such scenes. This measure was designed to prevent further distress while preserving the integrity of the production. The comprehensiveness of these safeguards reflected Blake's determination to ensure not only her safety but also that of her colleagues. These measures were agreed upon during a formal HR meeting attended by key stakeholders including Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and Blake herself, who was accompanied by her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan's presence underscored the gravity of the situation as he stood by Blake to provide support and ensure her concerns were taken seriously. During the meeting, Blake emphasized the need for these protections to be implemented immediately and consistently throughout the remainder of the production. Her insistence on accountability and oversight set a new standard for addressing workplace misconduct in the entertainment industry. By securing these commitments, Blake hoped to create an environment where professionalism and respect would be prioritized, laying the groundwork for a safer future for everyone involved in the production. While the production resumed with these new safeguards in place, tensions flared once again during the marketing phase of the movie. According to the lawsuit, the film's distributor Sony instructed the cast to market the movie as a story of hope and resilience rather than focusing on its themes of domestic violence. Blake, contractually obligated to follow this strategy, faced immense backlash from the public, who found the approach tone deaf and dismissive on the film's core issues. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni deviated from the marketing script, positioning himself as an advocate for domestic violence survivors. This contrast painted Blake as indifferent to the sensitive subject matter, fueling further criticism against her. Little did the public know Justin's actions were allegedly part of a calculated smear campaign. Blake's lawsuit details an intricate and multifaceted retaliation campaign orchestrated by Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and Wayfarer Studios. With substantial financial backing from a co-founder Steve Sawaritz, they allegedly assembled a team of crisis management firms, public relations strategists, and digital contractors to systematically spread false narratives about Blake. The purpose was twofold: to safeguard Justin's image amidst growing scrutiny and to discredit Blake, thereby silencing her and deterring any further public revelations about their misconduct. Evidence submitted in the lawsuit includes text messages and emails obtained through that reveal the calculated nature of the campaign. One of the most damning pieces of evidence involves Melissa Nathan, a high-profile crisis management expert hired by Justin. In her communications, Melissa reassured Justin that her team had the capability to bury Blake completely. In one particularly alarming exchange, Melissa wrote, "We can't write it down to him. We can't write that we will destroy her, but he has to trust that we'll get the job done." This chilling statement underscores the covert and deliberate nature of the campaign. A critical part of this effort involved Jed Wallace, a contractor specializing in digital manipulation. Jed reportedly spearheaded a coordinated online effort managing a digital army tasked with creating and amplifying negative content about Blake, while simultaneously promoting Justin's image as a feminist ally and advocate for justice. This operation spanned across multiple platforms including TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. Jed's team generated posts and comments that appeared organic but were in fact strategically crafted to control the narrative. Stories that cast Blake in a negative light were planted in reputable publications, while user-generated content was manipulated to trend on social media media, creating an illusion of widespread public disdain for Blake. To ensure these efforts achieved maximum impact, the campaign also involved media outreach and influencer engagement. Internal emails revealed discussions about leveraging high-profile influencers who subtly reinforce the smear campaign's themes. As this lawsuit unfolds, it raises important questions. Can Blake restore her reputation? Will Justin face accountability? And what does this mean for the broader conversation about safety and respect in the workplace? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this ongoing story.